one we get arrested anyway.
Number 3.
Alright, Mai.
Alright. Are we live?
Yeah.
This is Extinction Rebellion, South Australia. We're coming to you today live from Tarntanyangga, South Australia. You must be wondering what we are doing right now. As you can see, we've erected a beautiful structure right in the middle of the road.
Oh, she's gone. We're in the middle of so-called Adelaide.
Shit, sorry. I slipped my footing.
We're in the middle of so-called Adelaide. We acknowledge that we protest today on the stolen land of the Kaurna people. We pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Sorry, we're just talking to the police.
Option 3!
Okay. Sorry, we're just talking to our police liaison now. We've got police here saying we're going to be arrested. We've been up here for maybe
About
half an hour. We've had 3 rebels on the bottom of the tripod here. One's already been arrested and taken to the watch house.
And the other 2, it seems like they've been let off. One was chained to the pole and the other one was also locked to the pole. 1 arrest so far. So we are Extinction Rebellion. My name is Mai.
My name's Ronny.
And we are here to disrupt
Business as usual.
business as usual. Business as usual has led us to this point. Business as usual equals death.
Still gone?
Face out. Let them see the
We blocked this street, Flinders Street. I dropped the battery pack.
That's alright. Keep going. Don't panic.
I just dropped the battery pack.
That's all good. So, the actions the government takes today, and just as importantly, the actions that they do not take today, will decide the future of the country and the environment. We have reached a point where radical change is the only option to preserve our way of life in the long term. And the only way for radical change to occur is through radical action. We don't want to be doing this.
Thank you.
Business as
Thank
usual
you.
has led us to this. Business as usual is not sufficient to bring us out of this dire situation. We would much rather be doing other things, but this is the future of the environment and of humanity, and it's bigger than mine or your individual needs. Governments have a duty of care to prevent future generations of harm caused by the climate crisis.
Are you done?
For a bit.
Yeah, we don't want to be here. Most of us have been up since 5 in the morning. We'd rather be in bed, sleeping with a hot cuppa
That's right.
Sleeping or having a hot cuppa.
Um,
But we have no choice. Many of the activists here have been fighting for decades for action on the climate crisis, and nothing else is working. Writing letters, sending emails, petitions, protesting on the side of the road. It doesn't work.
They have known for so long now, and yet South Australia is doing. We acknowledge that South Australia is leading the way in renewables, but still, why does the government allow Santos to build 750 or 850 new gas wells in the Narrabri?
The disruption that we're causing today is nothing compared to the disruption the climate crisis is already causing. Direct your anger at those responsible for this crisis, the government, the fossil fuel companies, the media. Biodiversity is being annihilated around the world. Australia, I've got something written here. Australia has the worst rate of mammal extinction of any country in the world. The catastrophic bushfires of 2019 and 2020 impacted nearly 3 billion animals and have pushed many species towards extinction. The Great Barrier Reef has lost half its corals since 1995, and other vital ecosystems such as Kakadu National Park are at risk of collapse under rising temperatures. We'll see more asthma, allergies, disease and other adverse health outcomes that will disproportionately affect children. Increased exposure to trauma and stress due to the climate crisis is likely to affect children's brain development and mental health. The ecological crises that are impacting this planet and its wildlife can no longer be ignored. We refuse to bequeath a dying planet to future generations by failing to act now. I know the banner below us says that 2050 is too late. It is not just too late. It is mass murder. It's incomprehensible. The fate of humanity and millions of animals we share the planet with hang in the balance while politicians continue to deny and delay. Our politicians are beholden to the coal and gas industries that are among the worst perpetrators of the climate crisis in the world. Not only are they fueling catastrophic climate change, they're using taxpayers' money to actively cause immense harm on all fronts. We are the last generation that can mitigate the effects of the climate crisis. We will continue to demand that our government tell the truth and act on it.
Extinction Rebellion have 3 demands. First demand, tell the truth. Government must tell the truth by declaring a climate and ecological emergency, working with other institutions to communicate the urgency for change. Number 2, act now. Governments must act now to halt biodiversity loss and reduce gas emissions to net zero by 2025. 3, beyond politics, governments must create and be led by decisions of a citizens' assembly on the climate and ecological justice. We acknowledge that
This is hard work.
this is hard work. I sort of lost my footing a little bit, and I'm balancing on the thing, and gotta get myself.
You right?
Yeah.
Alright, we might upload because I dropped the battery pack and this phone might die soon, so I think we need to upload this before the phone dies. Thanks for watching, everyone. Rebel love.
Right, hopefully I'm back again. A little bit of a hiccup there. Some of the captured description at the top have been missed off. Just adjusting my mic, hopefully you can hear me. And hopefully this is happening properly in landscape now. Always get a bit jittery starting these off. Hi John. Okay, we have another banner here, just so there's no mistake. as to who we are. Bit in the shade. We are Extinction Rebellion, as you would expect. Right, okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We are here in the heart of Adelaide, Tarntanyangga, sometimes known as Victoria Square. But acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Kaurna people. Hope the drumming isn't too loud behind us. We have brave rebels erected a tripod in a busy intersection of Adelaide during rush hour. They were up by about 8:15, so been there 10-15 minutes. We have two rebels who have scaled up to the top, having a few fun and games up there, swinging around in a bosun's chair. And then at the bottom of the tripod, we have three more rebels who are chained on. Unfortunately, I cannot get round to the other side to show the banner, a beautiful banner, because the police won't let us on the road. So they've cleared the road of anybody other than the police liaison. But we have, over the other side, we have going up Code Red, which came from the IPCC report, and the chair of the United Nations said it is absolutely clear that we are in a Code Red emergency for the planet if action is not taken immediately, and proper action. Extinction Rebellion South Australia with an action here in Tarntanyangga. We have our beautiful drumming crew with us today, and signs to capture the morning traffic. We have today been mindful to not be too disruptive for people trying to get to work, but also over the road we have a banner saying net zero emissions by 2025, unlike what our government has been talking about, maybe approving to net zero by 2050. We have, just get fired the drum. Around here. I'm just thinking I might try and get across a different crossing of the road to get a better view of what's going on. Welcome, welcome. We've got Anne there, we've got Claire there, I see Kitty, Wolf. Welcome, welcome. To try and see if I can get over the road to on the next changing of the lights. I wonder if Mark, can I have a word to camera? Yeah. Our other beautiful duty of care banner holder. I'll just try and get my microphone off. It's all very well having microphones, but if you can't, there we go. Thanks, Mark. Hi. Why are you here?
Well, I'm here initially because of my grandchildren, and the more I think about my grandchildren, the more I think that the same fears are true for the economy and for the natural resources and for the marginalized people of the world. And the fear originally grows from the fact that there's such massive scientific agreement on all four of those issues, and they're all devastating to the way people live.
Thank you. I think they're pretty fair reasons to be here, holding this beautiful banner with our rebels just behind Mark, hanging on for dear life. And the theme of this is life is in the balance. And this is why we have two rebels balancing on a tripod. I'm going to try and get over the road. Here we go. Right, come with me on a little journey, trying to get over the road to have a look at some more banner holders. And we should get a good shot of the tripod in the sunshine. So here we go. Mike, oh no, it's into the sun. That's not going to work. But the banner that underneath the suspended rebels is climate, code red, life in the balance. 2050 is too late. And our own little byline, Extinction Rebellion South Australia. So I'll have a little look at these beautiful signs that we have. 2050, death. COP26, which is another reason we're here. 2050 is climate denial. And if you didn't know, we're in a climate crisis. With another beautiful banner. And we'll come along. I've got the police watching me here. And COP26, climate justice now. COP26, duty of care. Would you like to do a chat to the camera? Can you have a few words with the camera? Again, I'll be getting my microphone off here. Oh, the sun's a little bit in the wrong place. If I come this way, that'll be better.
Okay.
Right.
Hi, I'm Margaret. Now, why am I here today? Because it's getting too late. 2050, way too late. We need to act now. There's going to be an announcement made this morning, which will be just wishy-washy piss week, and then we'll go to COP and it'll be just a white or green wash of pretending what they're going to do for the world. We need big action now. Now.
Thank you, Margaret. And yes, we have in South Australia just heard that, well, in Australia, that the Nationals, excuse my sigh at that, have agreed to maybe 2050 as a sort of kind of net zero, but we have to wait to see what Cabinet says and blah, blah, blah. There we go, blah, blah, blah. That's a proper quote. Blah, 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 indeed. We've heard a lot of it today. And we have Emily here.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi.
So, why am I here? Well, we all know the science is very clear. It's overwhelming that our planet is in dire peril. Whether Scott Morrison agrees to this 2050 target, which we all know is too late, or not, the world isn't going to be buying our fossil fuels. Do we want a government that supports our regions and our industries to move to an exciting new economy, or do we want a government who sticks its head in the sand, pretends there isn't a problem, and then we're in this state? This is a code red. Our lives are hanging in the balance, and that is why I'm here today. We need to push our governments to do more, have ambitious targets, or it's going to be too late. 2050 equals death. That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much. And we have passionate rebels here who really, what else can we do? People have tried everything. So here we are. A few words, Peter?
Few words. Well, yeah. As species suffer from cognitive dissonance, we can hold to, see different facts differently without them adding up to one picture, and climate change is just one of its victims. I personally think we're a bit of a hopeless species, thinking that we're created by some special creature. It says, it takes us away from taking our own responsibility, which is really rubbish. We need to get on with it. This is our life. We need to take control of it. That's why I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you. We are taking action because action is needed by all. Sun's very bright this morning. Here we have. Now, Kathy, I'm sure you'd like to say a few words.
Hello, it's lovely to be here. The sun's on our backs, which is great. We're hardly holding up any traffic actually today, so the drivers and cyclists are going through nicely. But it's lovely to see people up the top of the tripod. My gosh, they are so brave. It's really lovely. And we've just got to keep up the pressure. Now COP26 is happening. Lots of good things are happening, but we've just got to keep up the pressure because things are getting just too late.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Any words?
Yes,
We have two people here.
Yes, Poppy and Frankie. Poppy is really concerned for the future, for all the children and her little relations, my grandchildren. And there will be no future if we do not act right now. We've wasted too much time. COP26 is starting very soon, and they need to take definitive action to keep a safe future for all our children and all our families.
Thank you, Poppy.
You're welcome.
Lots and lots and lots of lovely rebels here today. We have, that's not really good for the sun. I'll try and get round again so we can see the banner. The tripod a bit better. If I get in the shade, that might help. There, that's better. They were trying to unfurl another banner which had a lot of blah 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 on it, and a quote from the wonderful Greta Thunberg. And I think, hopefully, it looks like our tripod sitters are starting a live stream to the XRSA page. Not that I want to kick any of my beautiful viewers off, but that is another live stream that should be hopefully succeeding from top of tripod. It looks like they've got some statements that they have prepared and going to be reading out. So that is something to look out. If you don't see it now, then you can tune in later and see the video that they're recording up there now. I'm just going to go and have a look at another of our holders here. We have net zero carbon emissions by 2025. I think you might know the theme that's going on here. Capturing beautiful view for all the traffic going by. Dharma, I'm sure you would have a few words for us.
Well, people are definitely reading this sign when they come across the intersection of Victoria Square. I can see they're actually paying attention, and that is useful. That is what we need to do, is drive the message home that 2050 is way too late.
Thank you, Dharma. We'll go back over the road again with the pedestrian lights to see if I can get a better shot of the tripod sitters. Sorry if I just showed you the road then. I think I might try and get over behind the police and across the road on the other side. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. Let me see how we go. Got a few TV cameras out here this morning. Got another banner holder that I haven't captured here. We have, let's have a look what these two rebels are saying. I might just be able to sneak on the road to capture this without the police chucking me off. Future for our kids is this one. Would you like to say something to the camera? We're live streaming to Facebook about your hair.
We do need to do something about the future for our children, and Scott Morrison, when he's in Glasgow in next week, he needs to stand up for Australia and point out that as one of the largest countries exporting fossil fuels around the world, it's time for us to shift to a cleaner, greener way of providing energy to all at an accessible rate.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm capturing the sound okay here, because there is traffic noise and drumming and so on. I'm just going to creep up behind another rebel and see. Do you want to say a few words to camera?
Oh, just that these people are so brave to do what they're doing, and yeah, really the world needs more of us to be brave.
Thank you so much. And that is a very good point, which I think is quite clear. These are up there, sitting on top of a tripod, under the apex of the tripod, live streaming in the middle of the road, and we have one rebel still chained on at the bottom, helping to protect the tripod. I'll come down back this way again. We have paddy wagons lined up. Unfortunately, with all the noise and the wind, I can't capture what is being said by the rebels at the top of the tripod. But another point of why we've chosen this location, it's not just the heart of Adelaide CBD, but it is also at the end of Flinders Street, and we have a few tall buildings here in Flinders Street, which is to a few of our worst coal carbon industry people. We've got Santos headquarters down the road that we have shown our not a here we go. We have the rebel, last one from the bottom of the tribe, is being arrested. I would imagine it is an actual arrest. And she is having herself unlocked from the chain round her ankle. She has volunteered up the key for that. And our drummers are chanting, "Life is in the balance." And off our brave Jenny goes. Grandmother, mother, here to help protect the earth. Action must be taken. Jenny is unstoppable. Wonderful grandma Jenny, parent, grandparent, and a rebel willing to sacrifice herself and her freedoms. And we have comfortably hanging up on a tripod two more rebels. And the post office clock behind them, iconic. I suspect Jenny will now be going off to the watch house. Adelaide watch house is quite close by. As I was saying, the iconic post office clock in the background there. which is no longer the post office. That post office is now in BHP building, or the next one to it. New stuff going up all over the place. Yeah, all these corporations in town. We've got BHP, got PwC, which does a lot of consulting for goodness know who. Just noticed the police are letting people across the road here, so I'm wondering if I can get across the next turn of the lights. As I was saying, up Flinders Street here, we have the home of Beachside Energy, we have the home of Santos, we have the home of a major insurer of coal mines, we have banking homes. National Australia Bank's got their branch close to here. So I've been calling it Dirty Alley down here for the dirty coal that comes out of these buildings, the work that they do. Oh, having a little bit of a climb around here, up on the tripod. Looks like a load of fun up there.
Sorry?
Have you read your
No,
speech?
I haven't yet. They're just doing the live stream.
Yes.
I'll do it in a minute.
Can I ask you a few questions about
Sure.
why you're here for the
Yep,
national
sure.
live stream?
Hey, everybody. You take that off. I don't need my disguise anymore.
I think we all know who you are. Certainly do in South Australia. Oh, getting my mic over there. That's be good. That should pick you up.
You want me to hold it?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay. All right. So we're here today. This is an action about COP26. The United Nations has told us that we're in a code red for humanity, and yet our governments around the world are doing nothing. They are working on this bogus concept of net zero carbon emissions by 2050. That is all that's doing is procrastination. It's delaying the inevitable. We need to get rid of fossil fuels now. If we don't have a plan to start doing that immediately, we're in deep shit. Mai and Ronny are up on that tripod today. That tripod has the messages climate code red, life in the balance, because our lives really are in the balance right now, and 2050 is too late. And those are the themes for that action. We've deliberately chosen this location because just down the road behind me we have Beach Petroleum, who are sucking gas out of Bass Strait and a new gas field off the Great Ocean Road. We've got Santos, who are our arch nemesis in South Australia. Them, Santos and Woodside, are Australia's #1 fossil fuel corporations for influencing government. They employ former government people, they make huge donations to both political parties, and they have the state absolutely captured. So there's gas companies, gas and oil companies down that road. Over to my right here, we've got Westpac Bank, ANZ Bank, who are big funders of fossil fuels and big donors to political parties. We've got Ernst & Young and PwC, who are also big donors to fossil fuel companies. That PwC building houses Marsh McLennan, who are insurers to the Adani coal mine in Northern Australia. All of those companies tread on the rights of Indigenous people. Our First Nations people have no say with them. The building nearest us, just behind the GPO, is the BHP building. This is the largest mining company in the world, and they've sneakily pretended that they've divested from fossil fuels to Woodside. They haven't. It's a dodgy merger. They've just hidden them. So what we're calling on is all these companies to stop their donations. We're calling on governments everywhere, politicians everywhere to stop taking those donations. And until we do, we're going to keep rebelling out on the streets. Just behind me, immediately behind me, is a white building. That is the South Australian State Administration Centre. Right now, our state cabinet is meeting, and one of the topics they're discussing is the declaration of a climate emergency. We declare that they tell the truth and declare a climate emergency. Then they need to start acting on it. They're debating that this Wednesday. In 2 days' time, they're debating the declaration of a climate emergency. We demand that they declare that for the state. What we see here is a police response. So this is the state protecting its own assets. The police turned up very quickly. Sorry, you're right, okay. Police turned up very quickly this morning. Unfortunately, we managed to get our tripod up, and we've got Mai and Ronny up there. For people who want to have a look, they're live streaming to XR South Australia. You can see what they're saying. Looks like they're going to start trying to get them off. We've had 3 rebels chopped off. They were chained to the bottom of the tripod with security chain. So what we find here, we're calling this street here Ecocide Alley. With all of those companies, all influencing government, they've all got government captured. So this is state capture at the max. So we demand that all of that stops. We demand a new system. We demand they act now. So COP26 is a cop-out. We know that nothing's going to come out of that. We know that net zero by 2050 is not real. It's not going to happen. It's just promises, promises, promises. As Greta Thunberg said recently, net zero, blah, 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 and good on Greta. That's absolutely correct. All we hear is words. We're drowning in promises. Media, all they do is report what the promises that politicians are giving us. They never report on their inaction. So what we need is the media to start telling the truth. We need governments to start telling the truth. And to break this deadlock, we need citizens' assemblies. So we're demanding citizens' assemblies as soon as possible. So for the moment, life is in the balance. It's a code red, and 2050 is too late. So we'll just see how long it takes to get them off. And 5 brave people put themselves on the line today, and we love them deeply. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Fantastic, Ian. So eloquent. Oh, my hands are freezing trying to put my mic back. It is still very cold here in the shade. Yep, streaming is still going on from the top with Ronny chatting to the SA live stream. They're in a beautiful sunny spot for the lovely rebels up there.
They look very relaxed.
They do look very relaxed. One of our capture team is commenting that they look very relaxed up there, and they are. They are. And nice to see the media have turned out today. They're having a little bit of a scrum. We've got our media spokes actually talking to them. I might try and capture a bit as well.
In about a week of similar sort of protests that you've done in about a week, what to from here? You seem to be ramping up your protest activity. Would that be fair to say?
We are ramping it up, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is we have the recent UN IPCC report warning of code red for humanity. This is the last generation that can do something about climate change. And one of the few chances that we have left is the COP climate negotiations coming up in a few weeks. Australia has no legitimate policy to take to that summit. We're going to be the laughing stock of the world, and while that's happening, the world is burning.
So there will be more protests like this to come?
We're not going to stop until our leaders start taking this problem seriously.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A few words there from Ben.
Cheers. Appreciate it.
And yes, we're not going to stop until our politicians start taking this seriously. Oh. Coming up for 9 o'clock, 5 to 9. For those of you who weren't with us earlier, how are you doing, Tanya?
G'day to all the lovely people.
Let me get you a little bit, get my microphone off with my freezing fingers. And we got the lovely pocket watch here, who is our Chief Marshal, who does a fabulous job keeping everybody safe. And
lots of roles within Extinction Rebellion, within the rebellion to get climate action noticed. There's lots of things you can do. It's not all about holding a placard and hitting drums. For every rebel on the scene today, there are 9 rebels behind the scene making it happen. You could be one of those rebels. Welcome to the rebellion.
Fantastic there. From our Chief Marshal saying to get involved, you do not have to put your freedom on the line. You do not have to put yourself up for arrest. That is great. But for that to happen, there are so many people behind the scenes making it happen, keeping everyone safe. And so get involved. Get involved with your local Extinction Rebellion. And just notice this. Your city, your voice. That is Adelaide. So wherever you are, it is your city, it's your suburb, it's your location. Make your voice heard. Join Extinction Rebellion and let everybody know, if they don't already, that it's Climate Code Red. Action needs to happen. So having another little walk down these banners. Some of you who were with us earlier might have seen it. 2050 equals death. Save our children. I think that's pretty clear. And if I can get back a bit, I'm trying not to get on the road because the police will nab me. Code Red. Climate crisis. I'll come back and I'll show the banners and then come back and have a chat with people. So, COP26, climate justice now. Future for our kids. Oops. And this beautiful array of banners. And I think the police are amassing around the tripod. I'll get back there in a minute to see what's happening. Hi Peter again.
Yeah, just another thought. You know, we had the Second World War with fascism in Germany and in Italy and in Japan. And basically what fascism is it's the marriage between the government and business. And that's what's happening here. We've got some of those forces in our society as well. That's really our biggest problem. It's us manipulating each other instead of working together for the common good. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And the wonderful term, state capture, is really what Peter was referring to there. State capture. So where big business gives a lot of money to politicians and basically then calls the shots. So who is governing the country? Politicians who we have voted for, or business? And waiting to get back across the road. Oh, big trucks. Very sunny. Sorry, the picture might not be that great at the moment. See if I can move around this way. Get another shot. The sun is moving around a bit, but still looks very, very hazy, filming into the sun. here in Adelaide, the actual centre of Adelaide CBD, in Tarntanyangga or Victoria Square, acknowledging the Kaurna people who are the traditional custodians of this land, and that this land was never ceded. Let's go back. Ooh, get across before the lights change. Just a few police there, keeping them busy on their toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 there. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 police that I can count. Let's see now. And this tripod is at the junction of King William Street and Flinders Street.
We are Extinction Rebellion.
Here we go. Let's get in on this
Coming
chat.
out today. This is an important action in the lead up to COP26. We need to reclaim our future from the political and economic system that has failed us.
Sorry, I'm taking glasses. I can't read.
Ian's just going back for his glasses so he can read his speech. Hi Glenn, hi Maria, I can actually
First,
see
we
them.
acknowledge that we meet today on Kaurna country. This land was and always will be their land. It was violently stolen from them by our settler forebears. They never ceded their sovereignty. The Kaurna people managed this land for thousands of years. This land was and always will be their land. The land is part of them and they are part of it. We've damaged those connections and have now made things worse by our failure to manage the climate crisis. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are at the forefront of the impacts of climate change in Australia. We stand in solidarity with First Nations people around the world. We need to listen to their wisdom and learn from them if we are to find a meaningful way out of this mess. So now let's take a brief silent moment to think about the courageous people who were on the road today. The rebels on the road today are children, parents, grandparents. From all of us, thank you for taking a stand. We all stand with you, beautiful rebels. Today's action isn't going to change the world straight away, we know that. But understanding why we're doing it and acknowledging that this will be a long struggle is important. So why are we actually here today? Extinction Rebellion's first demand is for governments to tell the truth about the climate and ecological crisis. We are in a climate code red, a code red for humanity. When I started with Extinction Rebellion, I used to say I was doing this for my grandchildren, thinking that they would be the first generation to be impacted by climate catastrophe. Now I realise it has come faster than anyone thought and is likely to impact me as well as all of you here today. In August this year, the UN declared that the world now faces a code red for humanity. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General, said the alarm bells are deafening and the evidence is irrefutable. Greenhouse gas emissions from fossil fuel burning and deforestation are choking our planet and putting billions of people at immediate risk. The science doesn't lie, no matter how steadfastly our governments refuse to respond to facts. They still tell us that it's a choice between saving the planet or protecting our lifestyles. But it's too late now for those choices. Government delays and inaction leave us with only one option: to fundamentally change the way we live. We're on a climate precipice and we need immediate action to deal with it. We must tell the truth. And of course, let's not forget the mainstream media are enablers of our government tactic of a delay. What we need from them is objective reporting that tells the truth on the desperate need to stop extracting fossil fuels. Now just behind me is the State Administration Centre. Cabinet is meeting there right now, and we demand that they declare a climate emergency. When the bill is declared on Wednesday this week. Tell the truth, Stephen Marshall. Join us on Wednesday on Parliament House steps from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. to encourage the climate emergency declaration. Extinction Rebellion's second demand is act now. Our lives are in the balance because we failed to act. The tripod represents life in the balance. We face a physical environment that is becoming harsher and more extreme. We have inflicted this on the natural systems on which we depend, and it is now impacting not only our quality of life, but also life itself. Thousands of global species are going extinct every year and ecosystems are collapsing. A worsening climate means our lives are cut short. The health of communities is harder to manage, and traumatic climate events like fire and floods and heat waves have become far more common. The forecast for the future is grim. Our economies, ecosystems and communities are changing. The Australia we now know might not exist in the Australia of the future. Yet as bad as we think it is here, there are global communities facing a far more frightening future. Communities in Africa, South America and Asia who are at the front line. Communities in the Arctic tundra, in Torres Strait and the Pacific are all being harmed by climate change right now. These are communities living at subsistence levels while we live in our comfortable bubble. This is not acceptable. Millions of people are on the move around the planet because of drought in some places and flooding in others. We can expect increasing numbers of climate refugees. The fight for resources is a very real fight for these people. Millions have died and more will. Our fight is a global one. We act on behalf of all, including future generations. In May this year, Justice Bromberg in the Federal Court said that the government has a duty of care to protect future generations from the impacts of climate change. In part of his finding, he said, "None of this will be the fault of nature itself. It will largely be inflicted by the inaction of this generation of adults," that's us, in what might fairly be described as the greatest intergenerational injustice ever inflicted by one generation of humans upon the next. But having said all that, let's take some heart, because young people like those who brought the federal court action also see right through systemic manipulation and lies. The following is taken from a speech by Angela Beams at the Adelaide School Strike for Climate. "Every second wasted is lives and ecosystems that are put in danger. Delayed action is deadly. This climate crisis isn't generations down the line, it's right here, right now. There are already people who are struggling. There are already people who are being displaced, and there are already people who are dying. The federal government should be sprinting towards net zero emissions and 100% renewable energy as if our lives depend on it, because they do. Young people like Angela are our future, and that is something we can take hope from. Our governments do have a duty of care to protect young people from the ravages of climate change, and that's why we're here today. Thank you, Ronny and Mai. Right now we see political wrangling over net zero by 2050. Isn't looking towards net zero by 2050 a good thing? Have the world's governments finally woke up? No! Let's be clear. Net zero by 2050 is not acting now.
Police have been negotiating to try and get...
Net zero by 2050 is too late. As David Spratt has said, net zero 2050 emissions is a strategy for COP26 to lock in many decades of unnecessarily fossil fuels well past 2050. with an unsustainable business and growth as usual economic pathway, dangerous offset trade-offs and unacceptable risks of unstoppable climate warning. We call out net zero by 2050 as a dangerous target, a diversion from what must happen. It is an excuse for procrastination. We must be taking emergency action to rid ourselves of fossil fuels if we're to avoid triggering irreversible biophysical changes. In September, Greta Thunberg presented her analysis of COP26 to a Youth for Climate meeting in Milan. Greta said, "There is no planet B. There is no planet blah 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 blah. Build back better, blah 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 blah. Green economy, blah blah blah. Net zero by 2050, blah blah blah. Net zero, blah blah blah. Climate neutral, blah blah blah." This is all we hear from our so-called leaders. Words that sound great but so far have led to no action. All this while media is reporting what the leaders say they're going to do instead of what they are actually doing. And they're not holding leaders accountable for their inaction. Hope doesn't come from politicians, blah, 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 blah. Hope doesn't come from inaction and empty promises that everything will be alright. They say, trust us. We're doing everything we can. That is not hope. Hope is this. Hope is us, the people. Hope is when people gather together like this to make change. Governments are preparing for COP26 with fanfares over 2050 targets. Some even have interim 2030 targets. Yet none are making serious commitments to rid us of fossil fuels fast, as the science tells us we must. Accounting tricks and technological solutions are no substitute for ending fossil fuel use. We're prepared to stand up against the blah blah blah, call it out, trying to force change. But what is the pathway to change? How do we get to a point where net zero emissions policy is something we pour our collective effort into? Extinction Rebellion's third demand is for citizens' assemblies. Why do we need citizens' assemblies? Global political systems fail us. Global media fails us. At the heart of this systemic failure are global fossil fuel corporations who have captured politicians with their dirty donations and secret lobbying. Some of the very corporations are lined up in buildings close to here. Let's call it Ecocide Alley. Beach Petroleum and Santos are just down there behind me. We know the damage they cause. We also know their record of devious political influence. First Nations people like the Gomeroi, who are custodians of the lands around Pilliga, are ignored by these companies. Up here in front of me, behind the tripod, are Westpac, ANZ, Ernst & Young. They are all major donors to politicians. They too influence the political system to maximise profit, and those banks invest in fossil fuels. Further behind us, we see BHP, the world's largest mining company, which entered a dodgy merger deal with Woodside Petroleum to hide their investments in fossil fuels. And they are expanding the Olympic Dam proposal in South Australia, despite the objections of the Arabana people with their sacred connection to the Great Artesian Basin. Behind BHP is the PwC building. So apart from PwC donating vast amounts of money to politicians, in that building also sits Marsh McLennan Insurance, who are taking blood money to insure part of the Adani mine that will extract vast quantities of climate-destroying coal, and they have trampled all over the rights of the Wangan-Jungalingu people, the traditional custodians of that land. We see right through the dirty corporate money. Our dirty corporate money has captured political parties and controls economic systems around the world. They decide what happens here, not us. Devious donations and inhumane influence run this country, not voters or everyday people. That's why our sick politics needs the good sense and humanity of everyday people in citizens' assemblies, where decisions on how best to tackle the looming climate catastrophe would be made by everyday people representing the diversity of our communities. So I've rabbited on for long enough. Just to finish off, Our brave rebels today, and we've got Mai and Ronny left on the road, face the prospect of arrest for their actions. They know the personal consequences and courageously accept them. But when are we going to see those corporate executives, those ones in Ecoside Alley in their cushy offices? When are they going to face arrest? When will the media and politicians who continue to enable the dirty fossil fuel industry be arrested? They are committing ecocide. Theirs are crimes against humanity. Why are they not arrested? So we continue our rebellion. In doing so, please always remember, we are with the earth and on the right side of history. Gratitude to everyone for coming out today and every other day that you do. We won't stop until we see real climate, human and ecological justice prevail. Folks, be sure to love one another and always take care of yourself. We need each other to stay well and keep our connections strong. We're in this together and in it for the long haul. So on behalf of Mai, Ronny, Eugene, Anna and Jenny, thank you and rebel hugs to all of you.
Thank you, Ian.
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
I've just overheard a TV news report saying that the increasing frustration from the public, well, I don't see any public being frustrated right now. Considering this is still only just 9:15 in the morning, there is very little traffic in Adelaide, and I don't think any of it was actually held up by our protest. So a little bit of hyperbole there by Channel 7. Oh, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to say the name of a politician and I want you all to go blah, blah, blah after it, okay? So, Scott Morrison! Blah, blah, blah! Stephen Marshall! Blah, blah, blah! Peter Dutton! Blah, blah, blah! Angus Taylor! Blah, blah, blah!
Barnaby Joyce.
Barnaby Joyce! Blah, blah, blah! Susan Lay! Blah, blah, blah!
I think that was a...
Mackenzie!
Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah! Simon Birmingham! Blah, blah, blah!
Yeah, more negotiation going on with the
Scott
sitters.
Morrison! Blah, blah, blah! Angus Taylor! Blah, blah, blah! Barnaby Joyce! Blah, blah, blah! Bridget McKenzie! Blah, blah, blah! Peter Dutton! Blah, blah, blah! Simon Birmingham! Blah, blah, blah!
Our brave rebels still happily
And
sitting up in the
Stephen
polls.
Marshall! Blah, blah, blah!
And Extinction Rebellion South Australia streaming live on the National Extinction Rebellion site. Thank you for welcoming us here. We're here in the middle of Adelaide, capital city of South Australia, in the middle of the CBD, right at the junction of King William Road, King William Street, and Flinders Franklin Street corner, and right in the middle of Adelaide is Tarntanyangga, also known as Victoria Square, and the State Administration Building, where Cabinet sits every Monday. We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning, occupying space on this road with 2 rebels atop a tripod, climbed up, happily swinging up there. And we're here today because we're just fed up with the inaction, total inaction from our supposed leaders. We're coming up for COP26 next week. We hear this morning that the Nationals have deigned to actually do some kind of deal with the Liberals and agreeing to some sort of 2050 net zero. No one knows the details yet, but we know it'll be the proverbial blah 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 and inaction. So we're here to highlight that really it is not enough. We are in a code red as declared by the United Nations. Code red for humanity. And there is very little humanity shown these days in response to this.
We'll do a bit of a chant. You can call back. It's call and response. They want us divided. We won't be distracted. We won't be distracted. We stand together. We stand together. To tell the truth. To tell the truth. They want us divided. They want us divided. We won't be distracted. We won't be distracted. We stand together.
No more blah blah blah. Going to see if I can get to the other side of the road, but might abort that idea because we're still not going to get a good close-up of the tripod, and the police are absolutely keeping everybody off the road anywhere near the tripod. So there's no way that I can get up there to have a chat with the pole sitters. Bit noisy here. We've got some chalking. 2050 is too late.
We won't be distracted. We stand together to tell the truth. They want us divided. We won't be distracted.
Well, one little truck driver shaking his head in disbelief. You know.
To tell the truth. They want us divided. We won't be distracted. We stand together. To tell the truth. They want us divided. We won't be distracted.
Got some water going up for the pole sitters.
They want us divided. We won't be distracted. We stand together.
Alright.
To tell the truth.
Come over to the other side of the road over here into the square. Getting very, very noisy there. So, it's our city and we are having our voice. We are Extinction Rebellion South Australia, streaming live on the National XR site Thank you for having us on your stream. We are in the middle of Adelaide, really not too happy about everything that our politicians are not doing. We have the banner now that's come down off the tripod. I can get round the other side. And this is what was. I can't get on the road or I'll be trying to catch it in. This was hung from the side of our wonderful tripod until I think the police took it down. Climate, code red, life in the balance, and 2050 is too late. 2050, of course, referring to the supposed commitment that many have to a net zero carbon emissions by 2050. And that, I think a lot of people don't really think about it what it means by net zero. It doesn't mean that every single bit of CO2 emission will be stopped. It means it will be offset by some form of carbon capture. And so net zero by 2050 is too late. We really think that 2025 is a better target, but nothing is going to happen with the 2050 target. We're in code red. It is definitely too late. A little bit of traffic going by now, seeing these signs. Ooh, more police. We still have our sitters. Can't see that looking into the sun, I'm afraid. And I can't get into the road behind them to get a good close-up because of the police. But just to say that we're here in Adelaide, we are protesting about the inaction of all our governments and politicians. We want a net zero by 2025. We want real action. We want real action to start now. We do not want this blah blah blahing all the time, talk and no action. I'll come round to this other banner here so you can see our beautiful artwork. And again, a little bit into the sun here. Future for our kids, and that's really what it's all about. The future for children. Ooh, noisy trucks going by, sorry. Buses. Chanting still happening on the other side of the road. And this road, Flinders Street, that carries on down from where the tripod is where we have the home of many of our worst fossil fuel criminals. We have Santos, we've got Beach Petroleum, we have insurers of fossil fuel, we've got banks, funders of fossil fuel, we have a lot of dirty money being made down that street. And as Ian said in his speech, it's Ecoside Alley down Flinders Street there, straight in the view there, through the beautiful trees. Mai and Ronny still holding strong. Lovely sunny morning here. Still actually very chilly in the shade though. This is the first time in Adelaide that we have used a tripod in an action, and it went up very quickly. Lots of behind the scenes support, lots of work goes into this spectacular tripod. Sitters who've scaled up inside the tripod. Ronnie sitting in a bosun's chair for comfort. why not? If you're going to be there a long time, you've got to get comfy. And in the background, we've got Westpac, got ANZ, got BHP building behind the clock. Police still deciding what to do, how to get them down. Not sure what the tactics are going to be just yet. Seems that they have allowed Channel 7 to get on the road. That's all to our advantage, really. Let's come and see who have we got here. We might have a little chat to camera. As Ronnie has said from up the tripod, life is in the balance. We have Mai and Ronnie balancing precariously, comfortably up there in the balance, because life is in the balance. We're at a critical time. We're at a pivotal moment in our global history that we need action to take place. COP26. I don't know. I despair. Will anything really come out of that? Anybody take action? I might be being cynical, but we just need things to happen now. We don't need plans for maybe towards 2050. We want action now. Things to happen now. Let's see who we've got. Is it coming out all right? It's coming out all right now.
Yeah, it is. Let me know if you need help.
Yes. Do you want to have a chat? Yes. Just going to have another little chat with a rebel I've captured, but all the drumming, have to get away from the drumming a bit. There.
With the thing in the background. Do you want me to take my mask off, or we are?
Yeah, you can. It's better.
Oh, we are outside in distance. So I suppose we're here. We're in Tarntanyangga on Ghana country, and we've got a massive tripod that we've erected behind us. Bit chaotic this morning when people were getting it up, but it's up there, and we're blocking westbound traffic. Police have sort of blocked off further up the road, which you might have seen on the stream before. And we're here because 2050 is way too late. 2050 gives a pathway to fossil fuel companies to continue to, build coal mines, do more gas wells, all the kind of shit that we don't need right now. We're in a climate and ecological emergency. And so we've got Ronnie and Mai, who have been climbed up to the top, and then at the bottom we had 3 different rebels. What was it? Jenny, Eugene, and Anna. So they were both down there. And feel free, definitely get involved in kind of what we're doing. Acts of resistance like this are really important at this critical time. It's a bit of a now or never situation. Sir David King, is sort of eminent in this space. It said, the next, 3 to 4 years is really what counts. So acts of resistance like this are critically important. And of course, we also stand in solidarity with other people doing this really, really important work. Be that First Nations people or be that people from other movements. So if you're keen to get involved, you don't have to do this. We've got people who do media and messaging, post to Facebook. We've got people who, do outreach and talks. Lovely live streamers like Izzy here. So feel free to get involved, and because we need everyone, whatever skills you have. You'll be surprised at what you can do. This is about, in many ways, releasing the pressure valve that we all feel inside around our climate anxiety and sort of doing something about it. At the very least, you might feel a little bit better, and that's something that we all need right now. So sorry, I'm just rambling, Izzy. Is this all right?
That's fine. That's fine. Ramble away.
Ramble away.
Because otherwise, you're going to get me rambling.
Oh no. Well, one of us. We've also got media here, so we've got 7, 9, ABC. I think 10's rocked up. ABC Radio's just had a bit of a chat with me before. That's going live on air now. Everyone's coming up because we're disrupting. Other thing that's worth pointing out is later this week there's got to be a discussion debate in the South Australian Parliament around the Climate Emergency Declaration. So another group, Sedemia, put together a petition that had 10,000 signatures to declare a climate emergency. So we're going to see if our local politicians have what it takes, you know, and actually care about this issue. You know, one of the most important issues right now at this time facing us. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we have some good news to share later in the week. I think that's enough rambling from me.
I love your rambling.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, luckily it's here and not like after a few beers. Cause oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that on stream. I might pass back to you, Izzy.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks. We've still got the two swinging rebels up there. Oh, I'm putting my microphone back on. Hopefully that's still working. I'm keeping an eye on my battery. I got a bit wonky earlier on because I was trying to plug in a battery pack, and I've got a second battery pack spare just in case this goes on for a very long time. All prepared, and yeah, it's a lovely sunny day and Monday morning, but we are here because we are concerned citizens. I hope you're back again. Yes, looks like you're back online. Sorry, I think there might have been a glitch there. I made a very rookie mistake and I still had my Wi-Fi turned on, and it was connected to the free Adelaide Wi-Fi system, which I did not want, so I've just switched over to my phone network, and hopefully you are back. It says I'm live. So, welcome back. Sorry for the glitch, hiccup. So where were we? We were saying what a beautiful day here in Adelaide. Beautiful spring morning. Lovely sunshine, and yeah, for all the people who might be pissed off with us occupying some space here in the street, we'd rather not be. We'd really rather be happily getting on with our lives, doing whatever we may normally be doing on a Monday morning sunny spring day. But because we are constantly let down by our supposed leaders, our politicians, who are doing nothing to help the climate crisis, nothing to avert the disasters that are ahead of us, we're here protesting in the middle of Adelaide. Adelaide, South Australia, Extinction Rebellion South Australia, streaming on the Extinction Rebellion national page. Thank you so much for having us on board. Appreciate that. Earlier on, we had our two tripod sitters, the lovely Ronny and Mai, having a great lot of fun up there. They were live streaming to the Extinction Rebellion South Australia Facebook page, so that video will be up there from the top of the tripod. So I'm actually looking forward to being able to have a look at that too, to see the view from up there. Police have closed off this section of road, but really that's not inconveniencing anybody in Adelaide, really, because there's plenty of other ways around this junction. And we are surrounded by all the usual suspects: BHP, ANZ, Westpac. Down the road we have Santos, we have Beach Energy, who are deep in the fossil fuel industry. We have insurers and funders of fossil fuel mines across the country, located here in Adelaide, in the heart of little old Adelaide. I'm just going to go for another walk across the road. Ooh, I can get across just before it goes red stops. Don't want to be done for jaywalking. Another little walk across the road to have a say good day to our lovely rebels here, and have a look at our signs again. I'm back again to say 2050 is too late. And we've got Code Red, net zero carbon emissions by 2025 and save our children. This lovely banner, which is hard to capture. I'm going to put one foot in the road. No, I've got two police right there looking at me. Climate Code Red. Life is in the balance. 2050 is too late. This was the gorgeous banner that was painted. I'm just in awe, actually, of the fabulous work that our rebels do painting these banners. I do paint a bit of a banner myself, but nothing with like the skill of this one. It's just fabulous. It looks like it's been printed, but it's hand painted. Really fabulous. That was made specifically in that shape and size, and it was hung on the side of the tripod, but the police got that down pretty quick. Sorry, you probably can't see very well into the sun there. I'll carry on this way. I'm just come over here to warm up in the sun a bit. It was freezing in the shade. Climate Crisis, another beautiful hand-painted banner by our lovely rebels. And here we come. One planet, one chance. I know I've already had a chat with you earlier, but we'd like to have a chat again because we've probably got some new people here. I've been online for quite a while. So here we go. I've got you the mic. And this is Poppy? This is Poppy.
Poppy, I'm
Oh,
here.
here we go. I've got the...
I'm here to represent the children because they're really, really worried. We don't know what's going to happen. Who's looking after us? We can't vote. The grown-ups need to do the right thing by us and make sure we've got a safe world. I am so sad.
Well, Poppy, I think those are very, very strong, brave words that you've just said there. That children can't vote, teenagers can't vote, and it is up to the adults to be responsible and think carefully about where you put your vote and what you are voting for. Are you voting for your hip pocket right now today, or are you voting for a future for the planet and your children and grandchildren? And I think Poppy likes that idea. Yeah. And Poppy, I just have to say, I love the bird in your hair. Thank you, Poppy. Poppy comes to all our protests. One planet, one chance. Act now. More chanting going on over there. And, I think we have the serious squad has just arrived. I think that's the Star Forces now there, who have to come when we do a little more, out there demonstrations. They come to try and cut people off things and get people down from things and unglue people. We're not glued today. That was last week. Had a great gluing action last week. So we'll see. Maybe things are going to ramp up a little bit now. But anyway, I'll get over there in a minute when the roads change. So Dharma.
Yeah.
Hi, lovely Dharma.
Yeah, hi.
A few words again.
Yeah, look, I think what's so important is our steadfastness, and I think what's really challenging for so many people is they don't want to turn and face the truth. It's very hard for some people to grasp because their immediate lives just roll along, but if they'd been in those mega fires in Australia, if they lived on a Pacific island and had already lost their homes due to sea level rising, etc., etc., we need to grow those hearts. In every human being, they actually have the potential to grow big and go beyond little self, little world, and see the extent of the impact that each of us can have in raising our voices and saying we need to act now.
Thank you, Dharma. I'm just going to... Those were such wonderful words and so true. I'm going to scoot back over the road because it looks like we've got a large number of police about to try and lift this tripod. I'm a bit worried about safety and what's going on here, and I want to get over there as quickly as I can. I hope the road lights change. This is really concerning.
I reckon wrap up. No.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to wind off. for today.
Yeah, start another stream.
Okay. Yep. So I'm going to wind up this stream now, and we'll set up another one later. Thanks you all for listening.
And that'll be on the XRSA page.
And the XRSA page will carry on from here. Thank you all. Bye. Hello from Adelaide. I'm just starting a new live stream. We have been streaming on the national page, but oh heck, I can't get over the road. We've had we're trying to get across the road. Hopefully you can see it's quite hazy in the sun, but we are in the heart of Adelaide. We have had, since 8 o'clock this morning, 2 rebels up a tripod in the middle of Adelaide CBD. We have now just had the police back a truck up into the tripod to take the rebels down that way. So, lucky. Missing all this. Extinction Rebellion South Australia has been occupying a space in Tarntanyangga, the Franklin Flinders Street and King William Road crossing. Can't get across the road, can't jaywalk, too many police here. There we go. Right, finally getting across closer. Ghana country.
Ronny is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Ronny is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Climate action now. 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 Climate
Ronny is going into the back of a paddy wagon right now, being.
Another world is possible. Ronny is unstoppable. Another world is possible.
Hi Marie, lovely to see you. Hi Subin.
Another world is possible. Ronny is unstoppable. 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 Another world is possible.
Bit of a standoff happening now between Mai and telling her to come down right now.
Climate action now. Love you, Ronny.
There goes Ronny off in.
You're a climate hero. Love you, Ronny.
There goes Ronny. Not that you can see her in the back of the van.
Climate action now.
We will have support going to be at the watch house for Ronny.
Another world is possible. Mai is unstoppable. 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 Another world is possible.
Lots of media here. So hopefully we'll hit the news.
Another world is possible. Mai is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Mai is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Mai is unstoppable.
Hi Gavin. Hi Damien.
Mai is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Mai is unstoppable. Another world is possible. Climate action now! Climate action now! Climate action now! Climate action now!
We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning when we Extinction Rebellion SA. Beautiful rebels. Haha. Thank you, Mimi. Go Mai. Your actions speak for us all. Thank you, Ronny and Mai. Thank you, Mimi, for watching. Yes, we've been here since 8 a.m. this morning. Pretty chilly then, but Mai is in the sunshine, so she'll be nice and warm. Erected a tripod in quick smart time, and Mai and Ronny climbed up to suspend from the top of the tripod. Ronny has already been taken down a little short while ago. I'm going to have to try and do a battery pack change, so my commentary will stop as I try to find a second battery pack in my kit. Oops, sorry, getting a bit wonky. I know I've got Here we go. Ben, could you hold this as I'm going to get out another battery? Thank you. Oh. Right. Oh God, that makes it so much easier.
Go Mai!
Woo! I'll plug it in. Don't even know if this is working. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Lovely to see that you're in, watching. I've just been having a battery crisis, so Hopefully this will hold out.
Climate action now!
Sorry. Right, the lovely Mai, a brave Mai, is in the back of the paddy wagon and will be off to the watch house. There will be support crew that will be going to the watch house. There goes Mai. Support crew goes with our rebels to the watch house to make sure they're all okay and safe, and that when they're released on bail that they have got support with them. And I did just see, right, we've still got the tripod there. I did just see a comment up here from Sarah saying, have you guys thought about a bigger tripod? Well, I think that might be the next thing we have to think about. This is our first time using a tripod. We were...
and I was only in his arm, and I go, okay.
I think the media crew have just had a little bit of a buzz with all that action. But yes, back to tripods. This was our first time using a tripod, and lots of practice, lots of rehearsals, and it worked really, really well. Climbing equipment up on there.
The thing is, the police have no practice. They haven't had any rehearsals, and they're trying to figure out how to get 3 sticks down from the air. Oh my, oh my. Mai is unstoppable. Ronny is unstoppable. Join the rebellion. Welcome to the rebellion.
Thank you very much, Chief Marshal. And yes, here we go. They're finally working out just about maybe how to get it down. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah. They've got it doing the wrong way. They're going on 2 feet. It should be. They should put it on 1 foot to take it down. All the rebels watching saying, it's not how you do it, it's not how you do it. Oh dear. Woo! Next question is, can we have our tripod back? Please, sir. A bigger tripod. That would be a fantastic idea. Logistics would be complex, but you know, we're open to all sorts of ideas. So that's being carried away to not sure where. Let's see where it's going, because we've got our climbing gear on it as well. All our little gizmos to shimmy up a rope. Oh, that was Anna. I was wondering why the police put a siren on when it's all over, but that was a lovely Anna with the mask. So there our poles sit. Not quite sure what's going to happen. We could offer to take them away, save them the job, but there we go. So let's have a look. Marie. Hi, Marie's still there. Margaret. Hi, Margaret. Well, gosh. That was epic. That was epic. Although, 2 hours. Not our longest protest, but perhaps to date one of the goodies. So we have had 2 rebels arrested and taken off to the watch house, hopefully City Watch House, which is very close by. Thank you. About a big... We have thought about a big pink boat. Yes, we have. And some of the problem is, not problem, but some of the point is we are low on human resources here. We're just a fairly small gang that puts together spectacular shows of civil disobedience. So, shout out if you are really concerned about the climate crisis, consider joining Extinction Rebellion. Shout out to all there. Ask your friends to join. You do not have to put your life on the line hanging from a tripod, but there are so many support roles, so much goes into putting together an action like this. It lasted for 2 hours, but I can tell you it takes a lot more than 2 hours to plan. Banners to paint. Painting skills? Come on, give it a go. Plenty more. Plenty more for everybody to do. So we are going to be closing out here soon. We're gathering together. Police are winding up. They still keep an eye on everybody. Oh, we got our chains back, which is always a big bonus. So, ready to be used another day. We are outside the State Administration Building. State Cabinet meets there on a Monday. Nice little park, little square outside there. And just as a sign off, I'd like to give thanks to the traditional owners of this land, the Kaurna people. We acknowledge that we are on stolen Kaurna land, and we pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and give you thanks for the way you have cared for this land. That's about it, a wrap up. We're going to have a little close out here of the rebels who were on the road, on the pavement, helping and supporting. Beautiful sunny morning. I hope you enjoy your beautiful Monday as we sign out here from Tarntanyangga. Farewell. Thank you for watching. Keep up the good fight.